Hello, my name is Nick Davis. I'm a realtor with RE/MAX Premier Group, and today we're going to talk about the home buying process. You may be thinking to yourself, well, what do I need to do? There's a lot of things you need to do to get yourself started so that you make the best decision for you and your family. The first thing is you need to give us a call, 813-300-7116, so we can get started working for you. The first thing you should do is talk with a lender to determine what your buying power is, exactly how much you can afford to purchase. This will make the process a whole lot easier. Ideally, we'd meet at our office. That way we can go over all the things you're looking for in your home in MLS with you here so you can see exactly what is available. And if we have to tweak it a little bit, then we can do it together. The next thing is something that some realtors do. We just haven't found a need to do it. I'm referring to a buyer brokerage agreement. What this is saying that you agree to work with us and we agree to work with you. However, in our experience, we'd much rather have you want to work with us and work with us as opposed to feeling obligated. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to work with someone that they don't like. We would rather just shake hands and part as friends as opposed to you feeling obligated to have to work with us because of this buyer brokerage agreement. So again, we don't do those. This is something that we're going to do while we're searching for your home. We're going to have to analyze those wants and needs. Like, for example, if you want to be in a specific community, well, some communities will command a higher price for the homes than others. You may have to give something up. For example, you may have to give up square footage. You may want 2,500 square feet, but in this community, you may only be able to afford, for example, 2,200 square feet. So we're going to be analyzing your wants and your needs throughout our whole searching process. So now you've been in MLS, you've found a couple homes, and it's time to tour the properties. Normally, we'll plan out the route and have you meet us at one of the homes and then just follow us from home to home. Now, if I could suggest something, when we go out and look at homes, we shouldn't be looking at more than 5 homes at a time, if possible. The issue when you look at more homes than 5 is they all kind of blend together, and it's going to be hard for you to remember one home from the other. We try to limit it to 5 homes per tour. Now, that's not saying that we haven't looked at more in a day based on different situations. Fast forward, we found the home. What's next? What we're going to do is we're going to analyze all parts of putting the offer together. Price, how much money you can put down, if there's any contingencies, and what day you want to close. We'll do a market analysis of the property that you've decided on to ensure that the home is priced right and advise you of where your offer should be. Now, at the end of the day, you can decide that that's not what you want to do and you want to make your own offer. We'll prepare the offer the way you want it. Then comes the presentation of your offer and negotiating. This typically can take a day, a couple hours. It just depends on the other agent, the seller, and you. So we present your offer. The seller can accept it, they can reject it, or they can counter us. Now, if they accept the offer, they'll sign it, they'll send it back to us, and we'll go on to the next step. If they flat out reject it, they may not even respond, and then that may indicate that the offer was a little too low for the seller. If they counter our offer, what will happen is we'll contact you, we'll go over the counter, we'll discuss, and then at the end of the day, again, it's going to be your decision whether you accept the seller's counter or you counter their counter. And this can go back and forth many times, but until all parties agree, then we have an executed contract. Now comes the fun part. The contract due diligence phase. One of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to have to schedule a home inspection, because you definitely don't want to purchase a home without having a home inspection done, because items can come up on that inspection report that could be costly. Another thing that you're going to have to get started on is homeowners insurance. Contacting a local insurance company to find out what the insurance policy is going to cost you. Now, the title company who is going to handle the closing is going to start doing some things as well. They're going to reach out to your lender, they're going to order title work, they're going to do a lien and permit search, and they're going to be doing all this simultaneously as your lender is preparing all the documentation and you're going through the loan process. One thing that your lender is going to do is they're going to order an appraisal, and an appraiser will go out to the house and they will ensure that A, the home is valued at least at what the contract price is, or B, that the home is not worth what you are under contract for. And if that is the case, then we start negotiating again. We would prepare an addendum, changing the purchase price from whatever the contract price was to the appraised value. Then we would have to submit that addendum to the seller with a copy of the appraisal. Now again, the seller has a few options. They can accept it, which means they would sign that addendum and we would move forward. They could counter that. When I say counter, what they could ask you is that, let's just say the home was under contract at $200,000 and the appraisal came in at $195,000. So the seller can say, I'll accept the appraisal at $195,000, but I want you to bring $5,000 to closing. Now the ball is in your court. You can accept, you can reject, or you could counter back. And we would go back and forth until we had what we call a meeting of the minds, where all parties agree. But for this conversation, we're going to say the home appraised at the contract price. Now, throughout this whole process, your lender may be asking you for documentation, bank statements, pay stubs, updated this, ask for a letter of explanation. It's normal. Don't get concerned. I haven't heard of a loan that went through without some documents being required. Well, next thing is closing. And normally what we do is the day before or the morning of the closing, we're going to do a final walkthrough of the property. We're just ensuring that the house is the same as when you went under contract. We want to make sure that the owner didn't take something he wasn't supposed to take. Once that final walkthrough is done, we'll head over to closing. Closings will typically take 45 minutes to an hour and a half. It just really depends upon what type of loan you're doing. Some loans are going to require more documentation than others. We've closed. All paperwork signed, all funds are at the title company. Now it's time to get the keys. You got the keys, the house is yours. Congratulations. If all transactions were that smooth, life would be great. If you work with Team Davis, we will do everything within our power to ensure that the transaction is as smooth as possible. So are you interested in finding your new home here in the Tampa Bay area? Give us a call, 813-300-7116, and one of us will be back in touch with you real soon. And please, subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on. This way, anytime we make a new video, you'll be notified immediately. Talk to you soon.